district particularly, and he also has a video to be released on Olive Ridley Turtle, which I shared with you on WhatsApp, sir. With your permission, we would like to release that.
Right.
And then, sir, followed by that, I'll be speaking about the various activities we did in the during the Wildlife Week in IGZP, and also a little brief. I'll be speaking about what is going on in the zoo as such. And followed by that, we also have 2 videos to be released, like 5 minutes and 4 minutes each. So one is on animal adoption, sir, and the other one is on the wildlife of IGZP, just for an awareness purpose.
Right.
So with your permission, sir, we would like to do that as well.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sorry to interrupt, ma'am. We are on live, ma'am.
All right. So then we'll start. Please check the sound system, Ramna.
One is on animal adoption.
So I think we'll start, Ramna.
Yes, ma'am. We can start, ma'am.
Okay. A very good morning and a warm welcome to all of us. This valedictory program of the state level for the Wildlife Week celebrations 2022 for the state of Andhra Pradesh. Specifically, Forest Department has conducted various activities across the state, and we welcome you all to this valedictory program. Respected Shri Y. Madhusudhana Reddy, IFS PCCF Wildlife and Chief Wildlife Warden, Andhra Pradesh, and PCCF HoFF, AP, has joined us today for this program. Respected senior officers of Andhra Pradesh Forest Department from head office and various circle heads, conservators and chief conservators from different circles have also joined us. And our CCF Visakhapatnam has joined us. DFO Visakhapatnam has also joined us, and various other DFOs from different districts of the state have joined us. Myself, Nandani Salaria, I am the Curator of Indira Gandhi Zoological Park, Visakhapatnam. I welcome you all on behalf of the entire Government of Andhra Pradesh and the Forest Department to this webinar, which we are conducting on the occasion of Wildlife Week celebrations as a culmination program. So we've had, a lot of activities during the entire week, which was from 2nd to 8th October, and a lot of participations were there, and different activities were there, which we'll be speaking in detail later. I also welcome all to this webinar being organized, to celebrate these celebrations, whereby we have a lot of participants today joined online and offline as well. Print and news media has also joined us. We also have some participants who have joined us, who are watching the live streaming of this program in the bioscope of IGZP. So without much further ado, I think I will be welcoming Sir Shri Y. Madhusudhana Reddy, sir, to give the opening remarks on the valedictory program of the Wildlife Week in Andhra Pradesh. Sir, over to you, sir.
Yep. Thank you, Nandani. I think Shanti Priya Madam is online. Okay. Now I think, am I audible now? Anant?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Audible, sir.
Thank you, Nandani. Once again, I think warm greetings from the AP Forest Department to all the participants, my colleagues, both in wildlife and in the regular forestry streams, all the wildlife enthusiasts, the professionals working in the care of the animals in the zoo parks, so, and the participants in this video conference, the media. So I once again extend my greetings on the 68th Wildlife Week celebrations. So indeed, it's a privilege for me for have joined the department as the Chief Wildlife Warden a couple of months ago and interacting with you all. I think a couple of weeks back I was in Kevadia, Gujarat, where I think there was a conference of all the state forest ministers, the secretaries, forest and wildlife, and also the head of the forest forces, including many of the chief wildlife wardens. Addressing the meeting, I think the Honorable Prime Minister was actually commenting on the key theme that I think has been is developing around the 68th Wildlife Week celebrations. And that is the life, L small I F E, that life for environment. Our Honorable Prime Minister made it very clear that in his interactions across the world, whichever forum he has been sharing and talking to the world leaders, the concern for the environmental protection in general and the wildlife in particular has been gaining importance, and he emphasized that point, saying that I think we are living on this planet as a legacy from our ancestors and also borrowing it from our future generations. So we have an obligation to live it in a better shape than that we have inherited from. So with that message, he said that this life for environment, that means we should model our lives, our activities in a manner that I think it actually helps us to conserve the environment, and better services can be delivered to the society at large. So that was his theme on that day. The circulating economy concept or the pro-planet people, I think, which are the key words I think now I think this Wildlife Week celebration has thrown up, will be the buzzwords for the coming years. And I think the activities for both the forestry, environment and wildlife will be revolving around these overarching themes. When you talk of wildlife, I think wildlife basically we mean the faunal part of it. But actually, I think the theme is developing. I think it actually means both flora and fauna. And what is wild about wildlife? Who is wild? Whether an animal which lives naturally in its habitat, is it wild, or are we, by trying to tinker with the nature and trying to interfere with their life systems, are we wild? Who is wild? So I think this is a point that I think we have to ponder. I think having developed in the civilization and reached this stage, so still calling those animals, I think, which are innocent and then living their lives freely, I think calling them as wild is sometimes, it amuses me. So I think it should be the other way around. I think we are the ones, I think we have slightly deviated from the norms of the society, I think, in an evolutionary perspective. Now I think in Andhra Pradesh, I think we have two major zoos, both in Vizag and Tirupati. I think both the curators and the staff there have been working very hard to actually conserve all the animals that have been entrusted in their care. I think the people who have been visiting has gaining good experience of actually interacting with these animals and with the park staff and getting an environmental education and the need to conserve the wild animals in their pristine glory. Having said that, I think the other day the Honorable Chief Minister and the Forest Minister were also emphasizing on actually improving the stock of the zoo parks by trying to get more acquisitions, and especially giraffe and zebra and some of the rare and endangered animals, I think, should also be brought and put up in the zoo parks in a proper environment, so that the people who can't go to far off places to see these animals can get educated, and that will give a wholesome experience to the zoo visitors. And also we are trying to provide and mobilize more and more CSR funds, and also the voluntary organizations are coming forward to adapt the animals. So in the next 1 year, I think we have plans to develop both the zoos to a better and better visitor experience kind of profile. At the same time, the wild animals, which are the so-called wild animals, if I stand corrected, the wild animals which are not in these protected areas, what are we doing for them? So I think the theme should be, I think, while we are focusing on the Nagar Vanams and the eco parks, I think we should also focus on the wild animals, especially the avifauna. I think it's very difficult for most of the people and also to go venture in deep into the forest. But at least avifauna can be a theme for the next 1 year, I think, where I think we can encourage setting up of the bird watcher societies, eco clubs, and take up interpreter education to the people, I think, who are interested in this field, especially the college, higher college students, and also the faculty, I think, who are interested. I think they can be trained and they can be made as a guide and taken to some of these the nearby forests. For example, in places like Vizag, which has got Kambalakonda, in case of Tirupati, like we have the Seshachalam Hills, Kadapa, we have the Palakonda range, and in Kurnool and Nandyal, we have got the Nallamala Hills. So these are the areas, I think, which can initially focus, try to develop these bird watcher societies, give an interpreter education, extended education, by calling for experts from the field and also from the Wildlife Institute of India, and make them as interpreters and take people and show them around, and then the birds can be identified. Then this becomes a good experience for the people. I think these people then can add up to these Nagaravanams, and they can take the children who are visiting those places and can take them to identify the calls of the birds and also the nesting behavior. So, and the need in the end to protect the same. So this will be the theme for the next 1 year. So while we are trying to develop the eco parks and the Nagaravanams, I think at least in the beginning, I think we should focus on the avifauna in these areas and try to add one more component to these Nagaravanams as part of this Wildlife Week celebration commitment. And we have in the NSTR area, I think, which is our the prized possession in the state of Andhra Pradesh. I think when we have done the camera trap enumeration a couple of months ago, the number came to 73 in the NSTR area and 2 in the Papikonda Wildlife Sanctuary. That makes the total of 75 in the state of Andhra Pradesh. This is almost a 60-70% jump in a period of 4 years, which actually shows the buoyancy of the ecosystem there and also the efforts of the people working in that area. So my compliments to all the people who are working in both the sanctuaries, the field staff, the tribal protection helpers, the communities who are living inside the forest area, the people who are living in the fringe villages for having supported the initiatives of the government and actually having helped the habitat to come to this level. So, but as per the carrying capacity, I think this NSTR can still house about maybe up to 150 or 175 of the tiger, which is the apex predator, which actually indicates the health of the ecosystem. So I think this I think we'll be continuing our efforts and we'll be endeavoring further to actually increase the habitat for enhancing the prey base of these herbivores also, so that both the apex predators, the leopards and also the tiger, the number will be increasing further actually to sustain this ecosystem. So this will be from my side, and once again congratulate the team Vizag for having taken up the session on the valedictory day of the 68th Wildlife Week. So I once again compliment them and wish all of us a happy wildlife celebrations. So in the next 1 year ahead, I think then definitely we'll be comparing notes when we sit again at the same forum next year. So what we have done on the commitments that we have made to ourselves. So what animals we could have brought to the zoo parks. So what eco club and then bird watcher societies we could have established. How many people who could have taken to watch the birds. How many people I think have been, that interest has been generated or not. That will be comparing and checking up next year. So this will be all from my side. I once again thank the organizers for having invited me for this function. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your enlightening words and encouraging words. I think we would be able to achieve whatever you have set targets for us. At least we would be doing, because we are already taking some of the activities and certain things are in pipeline. Certainly, we would be able to show good progress in the coming year, of course. So with that, we move on to the next speaker, Shri P. Mohan Rao, sir, IFS Chief Conservator of Forest, Visakhapatnam. Sir would be giving a little brief about the Wildlife Week celebrations of this year at the Visakhapatnam circle. Over to you, sir.
అందరికీ నమస్కారం అండి. ఈరోజు గౌరవనీయులు మా PCCF గారు మధుసూదన్ రెడ్డి గారు రావాల్సింది. యాక్చువల్గా వాతావరణం బాగటం వల్ల ఇక్కడ ఫైనల్ డే సెలబ్రేషన్స్ ఆన్లైన్లో చేసుకోవడం జరుగుతుంది. ఈ వీక్ అంతా కూడా చాలా రకరకాల ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ అన్నీ కూడా చాలా చక్కగా చేసాం సార్. ముఖ్యంగా తాము చెప్పినట్లుగా గత 2 years నుంచి కూడా కరోనాలో ఏంటంటే ఎక్కువ మనకి క్లోజింగ్లో ఉండేది జూలో. డ్యూరింగ్ దట్ పీరియడ్ వీ హ్యావ్ కాంటాక్టెడ్ సో మెనీ జూస్ అక్రాస్ ది వరల్డ్ యాజ్ వెల్ యాజ్ ఇన్ ఇండియా ఆల్సో. సో అలాగే కొన్ని యానిమల్స్ తీసుకురావడం జరిగింది కొత్త ఎంక్లోజర్స్లో. అలాగే CSR కింద అంటే కార్పొరేట్ సోషల్ రెస్పాన్సిబిలిటీ యాజ్ వెల్ యాజ్ కార్పొరేట్ ఎన్విరాన్మెంట్ రెస్పాన్సిబిలిటీ కింద కొన్ని సెక్టార్స్ ముఖ్యంగా IOCLని కాంటాక్ట్ చేయటం, వాళ్ళు నిన్నే కూడా కొన్ని ఎంక్లోజర్స్కి ఫౌండేషన్స్ లేఅవుట్ చేయడం జరిగింది ఈ మన వైల్డ్ లైఫ్ వీక్ సందర్భంగా. అలాగే సార్ తర్వాత తమరు చెప్పినట్లుగా ఎకో క్లబ్స్, ఎన్జిఓస్ అంతా కూడా చాలామంది ఇన్వాల్వ్ చేస్తూ ఉన్నాం గత కొన్ని సంవత్సరాలుగా. అందులో ఏంటంటే ముఖ్యంగా ఏషియన్ గార్డ్ వైల్డ్ లైఫ్ సొసైటీ ఒకటి ఉంది. మనకి చాలా బ్యూటిఫుల్ రెప్టైల్ కింగ్ కోబ్రా మన ఈ వైజాగ్ సర్కిల్లో ఎక్కువగా ఉన్నాయి. అందులో పూర్వం చూస్తే ఏమయ్యేదంటే విలేజ్లో ఏదైనా వస్తే కనుక దాన్ని ఇమ్మీడియట్గా దాని మీద అటాక్ జరిగేది. ఇప్పుడు అలా జరగట్లా. ఎందుకంటే వాళ్ళు స్వచ్ఛందంగా మా దగ్గరికి ఇక్కడ పాము వచ్చింది పలానా ప్లేస్లో ఉందని చెప్పడం, వెంటనే ఈ సొసైటీ వారు వెళ్ళి మన పార్క్ డిపార్ట్మెంట్ కూడా ట్రైనింగ్ ఇవ్వడం జరిగింది. వాళ్ళు ఇమ్మీడియట్గా దాన్ని రెస్క్యూ చేసి దాన్ని న్యాచురల్ హ్యాబిటాట్ వదిలేయడం జరిగింది. అలాగే రీసెంట్గా కూడా మనకి దాన్ని నెక్స్ట్ కూడా చూడటం జరిగింది. ఒక 24 హ్యాచ్లింగ్స్ కూడా మనం చూడటం జరిగింది. అలాగా నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ వైల్డ్ లైఫ్ ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ చేస్తూ ఉన్నాం సార్. సో మీరు తమరు చెప్పినట్లుగా ఎకో కప్స్ని ఈవెన్ స్టూడెంట్స్ని కూడా చాలా ఎక్కువ మంది ఇన్వాల్వ్ చేస్తూ ఉన్నాం. మా దగ్గర ఒక బటర్ఫ్లై పార్క్ ఉంది సార్. అక్కడ ఒక అమ్మాయిని పెట్టాం. ఆవిడ అంటే ఎక్స్పర్ట్ ఇన్ వైల్డ్ బటర్ఫ్లైస్. సో చిన్న పిల్లలు వచ్చినప్పుడు ఏ బటర్ఫ్లై ఎలా ఉంటుంది, సో అట్లా ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేయటం, తద్వారా ఏంటంటే జనాలందరూ కూడా ఒక అవగాహన పెరిగింది. అలాగే ప్రజల్లో ఏంటంటే ఇప్పుడు మాకు శ్రీకాకుళం ఏరియాస్లో ఈ వైల్డ్ లైఫ్ మ్యాన్ యానిమల్ కాన్ఫ్లిక్ట్ ఎక్కువగా ఉన్నాయి. ముఖ్యంగా స్లాత్ బేరు, ఎలిఫెంట్స్. అక్కడ కూడా ప్రజలను కూడా ఈ వైల్డ్ లైఫ్ వీక్లోనే చక్కగా వాళ్ళందరినీ కూడా మోటివేట్ చేసి వాళ్ళకి అవేర్నెస్ క్యాంప్స్, దాంట్లో ఎలాంటి జాగ్రత్తలు తీసుకోవాలి అన్నీ కూడా చేయడం జరిగింది. సో కొత్తగా రీసెంట్గా 28 లాస్ట్ మంత్ జాయిన్ అయ్యారు డిఎఫ్ఓ గారు. ఆవిడ ఏం చేసిందంటే వైల్డ్ లైఫ్ హెల్ప్ లైన్ అని ఒక నెంబర్ కూడా టుడే దే ఆర్ లాంచింగ్. సో దట్ ఆ జిల్లాలో ఎటువంటి ఏదైనా ప్రాబ్లం వస్తే వైల్డ్ లైఫ్ నుంచి కానీ ఏదైనా తెలిస్తే కనుక వెంటనే ఆ ఫోన్ కాంటాక్ట్ చేస్తే, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఏదైనా పాము వచ్చేసింది, ఇంట్లో లోపలికి వచ్చేసింది, దాన్ని ఎలా రెస్క్యూ చేయాలి, సో వెంటనే ఫోన్ చేస్తే దానికి వెళ్ళి వాళ్ళని కొంత క్యాచెస్ ఉన్నారు మన పాము క్యాచ్ చేసే వాళ్ళు తీసుకెళ్ళి పంపించి ఆ పర్టికులర్ పాముని అక్కడి నుంచి రెస్క్యూ చేసి హ్యాబిటేట్లకి న్యాచురల్ హ్యాబిటేట్కి వదలడం జరుగుతుంది. సో ఈ రకంగా చాలా ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ చేశాం సార్. ముఖ్యంగా మన నందిని సలారియా జూలో ఈవెన్ దో షీ ఈజ్ నాట్ వెల్, సో అట్లనే కష్టపడి చాలా ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ చేశారు. ఒక పక్కేమో వాతావరణం బాగోలేదు, ఆవిడ హెల్త్ కూడా బాగోలేదు. విత్ ది హెల్ప్ ఆఫ్ డిఎఫ్ఓ విశాఖపట్నం షీ హాస్ కండక్టెడ్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ ప్రోగ్రామ్స్. తర్వాత మీరు తమరు చెప్పినట్టుగా బర్డ్ వాచింగ్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ గురించి చెప్పారు ఇందాక. సో అక్కడ పిల్లలు కూడా కంపాలగొండలో కూడా నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ బర్డ్స్ రావడం, వాటిని కూడా ఎలాగ ఐడెంటిఫై చేయాలి ఆ టెక్నిక్స్ కూడా చెప్పడం జరుగుతుంది. సో ఈ రకంగా నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ చేస్తాం. అలాగే 68th వైల్డ్ లైఫ్ వీక్ అంతా కూడా చాలా గ్రాండ్గా సెలబ్రేట్ చేసుకున్నాం సార్. అందులో మీ గైడెన్స్, తర్వాత అడిషనల్ PCCF వైల్డ్ లైఫ్ వాళ్ళ గైడెన్స్ తీసుకుని చక్కగా ప్రోగ్రామ్ చేస్తాం సార్ మా సర్కిల్ అంతా కూడా. సో మీ ఏదైతే సలహాలు ఇంకా ఫర్దర్గా చెప్పారో అవన్నీ కూడా మేము ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేస్తామని మీ అందరి ద్వారా మా అందరి తరఫున మీకు తెలియజేస్తూ ఉన్నాం సార్. థ్యాంక్ యూ వెరీ మచ్.
Thank you very much, sir. Again, as always, he's been encouraging us to do better and better. So we are able to do, that's why. So thank you very much, sir, for your kind words and your kind support all the time. With this, we would like to move further. I would now request Shri Anant Shankar, IFS District Forest Officer, Visakhapatnam, to give a brief about the olive ridley conservation in Visakhapatnam district particularly and Andhra Pradesh in general. Over to you, Mr. Anant.
Good morning, respected PCCF HoFF and Chief Wildlife Warden Andhra Pradesh, sir. Respected Chief Conservator of Forests Visakhapatnam, Curator IGZP Visakhapatnam, and all the participants. On this eve of the valedictory function of the Wildlife Week for 2022 year, we have conducted a gamut of activities, and I am proud to say that I am a part of the department, the Andhra Pradesh Forest Department, which has been conducting a gamut of activities, several activities related to conservation of several species all across the state. It's not only limited to terrestrial ecosystems, but also in the marine ecosystems, which we are
There is a stop in the video, I believe. Ramna, can you please look at it?
Yes, ma'am, it's stopped, ma'am. I think sir's net is down, I think.
I need to inform him, no? Our net is fine, no?
Our net is fine, ma'am.
You log in from your phone then. Give us a moment, sir. He'll be connecting.
Yeah, I'm really sorry for the interruption. Actually, I hope I'm audible, Nandri. Yeah. So yeah, as I was talking about the marine turtle conservation initiatives in the state of Andhra Pradesh taken by the Forest Department. So this conservation story has been really successful. Why? Because we have been successful in involving the local community, especially the fisher community I am talking about here. So we have tried to rope them in, provided them the basic necessary training skills, and then engage them as protection watchers for this turtle conservation activities. So what has happened over the last few years is that we have got a team, a really well skilled and technical team in terms of conservation of marine turtle conservation activities, who are there at the forefront supporting our activities in conserving the marine turtles. But at the same time, what has happened is sensitization.
Ma'am, again it's stopped, ma'am.
You're on mute.
Sir,
Anand, you're on mute.
Yeah, I'm really sorry for the interruption due to some technical issue. The network had gone. So basically, the activities which we have undertaken with the fisher community has been sensitizing the local fisher community also, and due to which what we have observed is, I mean, we have got the recent past only two standings of the largest fish and shark in the world, which is the whale shark, and the entire initiative, right from providing the information to taking up the rescue of these whale sharks, was spearheaded by the fisher community. We were able to provide basic support, but the entire initiative was by the local fisher community, who were very well aware that this is a species which needs our attention, which is protected as per the Wildlife Protection Act provisions, is listed in Schedule 1 of the Wildlife Protection Act. And because of their efforts, we could save not one but two large individuals. And the whale shark is one of the most important marine species if we talk about in terms of marine conservation also, because it's a filter feeder and plays a very important role in the conservation and protection of the marine ecosystem, which is again a very fragile ecosystem we talk about. So the marine turtle conservation activities which the Forest Department takes last for generally 5 months per year, and we are able to provide livelihoods to the fisher community through these activities. If I talk about these activities in Visakhapatnam district, we have the turtle protection camps where we do in situ as well as ex situ conservation of marine turtles spread across the 5 points across the district of Visakhapatnam. So at all the places we are employing the local fisher community also only. And last year till our achievement, the release of turtle hatchlings was around 56,000. That is limited to the small district of Vizag if I'm talking about. But if we go in the other adjoining districts, especially along the northern coastal Andhra Pradesh, each district combined in, like suppose in the Godavari Delta and the Krishna Delta, we are having around 1 to 1.5 lakh hatchlings released each year. So combined together, actually, if we talk about the total number, as Andhra Pradesh state stands next to the state of Odisha only in terms of marine turtle nesting. and these conservation efforts have been really successful in conserving these species. So taking the things forward, we have worked towards developing a a documentary showcasing the turtle conservation efforts in the city of Destiny, the Visakhapatnam, which will be the next executive capital of the state also. So this documentary titled Saviors of the Sea, Tryst with the City of Destiny, has been prepared by a talented team led by Mr. Shrikant, Avinash and Mr. Sidhu, and beautifully scripted and narrated by Mrs. Pallavi Laveti. So, with the permission of the PCCF HoFF and the Chief Wildlife Warden of the state, I would like to release this documentary for the public so that we can showcase the efforts of the department as well as a beautiful natural history phenomena which goes next to the places where we are dwelling. So, I'd like to take sir's permission and release the documentary today.
So
You're mute, sir.
Okay, Anant, you can go ahead.
Thank you, sir.
Ramna, can you please play the video?
Yes, ma'am.
Visakhapatnam, a busy, bustling port on the east coast of India, flanked by the lush green ghats on one side and the blue ocean waters on the other. It is fondly known as the City of Destiny for its scenic beauty. But perhaps there is one other reason. It's 3 a.m. The busy coastal city is fast asleep. The beach is quiet, and the only sound that can be heard is waves crashing on its sandy shores. But something is different. The still sand suddenly seems to shift, and a tiny nose peeks from within. Today is no ordinary day for the city. But to understand this, let's back up a little. Three months ago, same time, on the same beach, the waves have brought home some visitors. Look closely and you realize that these aren't visitors at all. They are children of the same soil, or more appropriately, of the same sand. The heavily pregnant turtle has traveled thousands of miles to find this shore. She is here to continue her bloodline. Using her flippers, she rocks in rhythm to dig a pit, creating a cozy nest for her babies. One by one, she gently drops the eggs into the pit. Not a single break is taken. After several hours, once she's done, she expertly closes the nest, smoothens the surface to erase all evidence. And without a trace, she disappears into the night. the show doesn't betray the happenings of this spectacular natural history moment, and life moves on above it, around it. But this time, also inside it. This night could have been easily forgotten, but it isn't. The mother has left a home behind, but what she does not know is that she has left them with guardians and protectors. In situ nests with physical barriers created by the Forest Department protect the hatchlings from predators and threats. This is a valuable egg bank that continues to develop for 3 months. Which brings us back to the tiny nose as it breaks the surface of the sand, breathing the salty ocean air for the very first time. One by one, the hatchlings emerge from their nests. Nervously, they head towards the waters, as though being guided by the waves, and they take their first dip and swim. They leave the city behind to explore what the world has in store for them. Here, coexistence is not a chance, but a result of directed efforts of committed forest departments and compassionate citizens. When the time comes, like their mother, the females will find this very beach and return to a home that eagerly awaits them. It is then befitting that Visakhapatnam is fondly known as the city of destiny.
Well made.
Anant,
Very well, Anant.
sir?
It is
Sorry,
come
sir,
very well. I think I compliment the entire team. I think we have conceived the idea, the photographers, the narrator, the script who has written it, and the people who have made it possible, the department officials, I think, who had nurtured these eggs into the hatchlings when they got released. I think that every moment has been very finely captured. The cinematography was excellent. My compliments to all once again.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your kind words, sir. Means a lot, of course. I would personally say it was, I had goosebumps during the video was being played because I also watched it for the first time. I did see the initial part, but the entire video was so beautiful. I mean, I would say breathtakingly beautiful and emotionally enthralling as well. For anybody who has the slightest, feeling of compassion or coexistence for a fellow being, whether it is a human being or a small being like a small hatchling of olive ridley turtle. So it was very, very beautiful, I would say. Of course, I mean, with this we can see that the coexistence and city of destiny being the Vizag, a very good example we can see. So with this, I thank dear Visakhapatnam for such a beautiful video and the kind words by our PCCF sir. And now I think I would like to take over for IGZP's Wildlife Week celebrations. I would talk about. So from here onwards, I would like to talk about the Wildlife Week celebrations. Firstly, I would like to give a little brief maybe about the IGZP, sir. As we all know that it's a large category zoo recognized by Central Zoo Authority, and we are also the 4th largest zoo in the country in terms of area. We are having an area of 625 acres and almost 87 species. We are having around 860 animals we are having. And I would like to mention here that we have been able to add around 8 species in the past 1 year to the zoo collection, animal collection, and lot many are on the way. Certain species, I think around 10 species are already approved by CZA to be brought from different Indian zoos. But due to certain conditions like COVID was there since last 2 years, only since last 1 year we could execute our exchanges which was pending for the last 1.5 years. So lot many foreign zoos collaborations are also we have undertaken, under which also we are taking up certain animal exchanges. With respect to that, I would like to mention here the project with Zoos Lin, which is in Czech Republic. We also had a team of the director of Czech Republic and the curator, animal curator from there, visited us last month, whereby we had certain agreement exchanges for the animal exchange, whereby we are getting 4 new species, red-necked wallaby and slender-tailed meerkat, scarlet macaw, and I would like to mention another critically endangered species as sir mentioned earlier, white-winged wood duck, which is an endemic species to India, basically the northeast part of India, but it has gone extinct in wild over the period of time. Only in certain pockets it is there in the northeast Bengal side, and now we are trying to get that species from Czech Republic Zoos Lin, so that we can also start some conservation breeding projects. So that is one thing. Of course, this is one of its project, and further we are also collaborating with them on certain other technical collaborations whereby we can have some exchange of technical knowledge regarding research as well as capacity building for this staff as well. Further, we have also recently collaborated with Japan Zoo. There's a reptile zoo called iZoo in Japan, whereby we'll be exchanging a pair of Ghadial and Mugger for a 12 number of giant Aldebra tortoises, which are very, very giant, just like a human being, bigger than that, I guess, and they live around 100 years. So that will be a great attraction to the zoo. And further, we have recently executed an animal exchange with Aizawl Zoo, Mizoram as well, whereby we did not had to give any animals to them, but we brought almost four new species with a good numbers like stump-tailed macaque, Assamese macaque, Asian brown tortoise, which is again the largest tortoise species of Asia, and also we brought the Himalayan black bear. So these all have been the new species which are added to our collection. And further, as I said, that lot many species are there which are supposed to come from different countries as well as from other Indian zoos. We also have various exchanges already planned with Delhi Zoo, Warangal Zoo, Nandani Zoo. We are working out something. So lot many zoos are there which are already in plan, and foreign zoos also we are already have a proposal approved by CZA from Sri Lanka Zoo, whereby we are supposed to get pygmy hippos and fishing cats, which are due for long. Actually, there were some quarantine requirements which could not be met by Sri Lanka, because of which we could not do it earlier. So that is pending. I'm pursuing that as well. Then we are also in talks with Singapore Zoo. So there are a lot of proposals in channel, sir, which we are pursuing at different levels to get that done. So that is about it. Apart from this as well, I would like to mention as a part of vision plan exercise which was taken up by CZA 1.5 years back, we were selected amongst the 15 Indian zoos, whereby a plan was prepared for the next 10 years to take these zoos up to world-class standards. So they had identified the gaps and various strengths and weakness areas, whereby we can work upon and develop to certain improvements in these areas. So as a part of that exercise, we also had a collaboration with us. There was a concept of sister zoo, sister zoo concept, whereby one of the Indian zoos was paired with another foreign zoo. So we were paired with Parco Natura Viva in Italy, which is a very renowned zoo in one of the European zoos, very renowned for especially breeding in certain bird species, especially avifauna, as you earlier also mentioned, especially the avifauna like the vultures, I would say. So they are very, very well renowned, and they have reintroduced them into the wild as well. So that is one part where we are looking forward to learn from them. So we are the only zoo in the entire country, I believe, and we are the first one to do a MOU with them. Official signing of MOU was done last year, and following which we did various meetings online. And also, actually, they had invited me for a speech during their National Research Conference last year, where I presented a paper as well. And this year also, they had invited me personally to come, and they were ready to sponsor also, but somehow I could not manage to be there. And anyways, we had this Wildlife Week celebration, so my presence was required here as well. So we are having a good relation, a collaboration with them at this point of time, and we've also proposed to collaborative projects with them, whereby we are introducing the conservation breeding project on critically endangered species of red-headed vulture. So this is another species which they are breeding and reintroducing into the wild very well. However, this is an endemic Indian species which has gone to the status of critically endangered. So this is one project which is very, very important, and I am pursuing it at CZA level. We have written to CZA for permissions, and also there are other research projects and certain projects on animal welfare which we are working with them, because they have experts who are the part of WAZA, which is World Association of Zoos and Aquariums, as a part of Animal Welfare Committee. So we have lots to learn from them, I guess, and we are working with them on a close-to-close basis with our team, and we have working groups established. So that is something which I would like to mention here. Also, we have made a lot of improvements in the recent past in terms of improving the animal enclosures, whereby we have also improved the existing enclosures, because as we know that this zoo was established in 1977, and since then we have had various additions of the animal enclosures, but they've all gone a little old now. The walls or the animal enclosures are a little old, and old structures are there, and over the period of time we have certain repairs required on a regular basis. The maintenance is regularly required for each and every enclosure. So that is one thing which we are working on very, very closely, so that animal welfare standards are being met. And then, of course, since we have brought many new animal species from outside, we have also been making many new enclosures also, like we have made it for a Himalayan goral, new reptile house, barking deer, chausinga. We are also on the way to make red-necked wallaby, meerkat. So all these species also we are making new enclosures for. Also, we have been established to long actually demand of quarantine facility for the herbivores near the hospital, so which was not there, and earlier it was not there. So we were able to establish that this year. So that is one thing which we have added and is a good asset for the zoo. For future, any exchanges are done, the animal can be brought and kept in that quarantine facility. Apart from that, it is pertinent to mention that because we have tried to focus more on the husbandry practices of each and every species, focused on the animal enrichment, basically focusing on various enrichment components like feeding, behavior, and the environment of each and every enclosure for each and every species as per that behavioral characteristic of the species. Specific enrichments were done, and because of which I would say that there has been a very, very considerable success in the conservation breeding of many species which has also not bred for many years to put together. So I would like to name some, like already we are the coordinating zoo for conservation breeding of dholes. We have today a number of around 40 animals with us, kept in also off display facility, and CZA coordinates that project, and we are also giving all the other foreign zoos to in animal exchanges. So I would say that most of the Indian zoos which are having dholes or the Asiatic wild dogs today are a generation from our zoo itself. So they have further bred also there. So that is one thing. And apart from that, also we have many species like in birds we have black swans, macaws, eclectus parrots, red jungle fowl. These all have bred in the past 2 years. And then especially the herbivore species like goral, Himalayan goral, which was recently received, gaur, all these species are also breeding. Apart from that, of course, deers, all the deers are breeding very well. But gaur and Himalayan gaur appears to be a little more important for us, worth mentioning. Then, of course, the carnivore species, wolves, we had just a one pair, and right now we have a pack of 8, which is very satisfying to watch them in the enclosure. So that is one thing. Then hyena, we have regular breeding in hyena, and we have a very good number. We are doing many exchanges with this species as well. So there are lots, and not only the I would say the major fauna we are looking at, we are also looking at the butterfly rearing as well, as sir mentioned about the lesser species like birds and butterflies. So we are regularly conducting bird walks in the morning on the weekends for the local public, and also butterfly workshops. Every day it is being conducted for kids and public in general. We have a dedicated staff for that. So we are taking care of these things as well, and we are regularly collecting the eggs and the larvas from the butterfly park or even the surroundings, and rearing the caterpillars and releasing the butterflies into the habitat. So there are lot many activities actually worth mentioning, but I would just for now I would just stay with this, and I would now like to share a little about the Wildlife Week celebrations which we did this year. So I would just like to share a screen. I would be very fast. As we already have spoken about the theme of this year, recovering key species for ecosystem restoration. So this was a program. We had a detailed, every day we at least had 3 to 4 activities planned. Although rains did a lot of damage to our plans, but still we could able to manage, because we had a combination of both online and offline activities. So we could be able to achieve a lot of things in this week. So this was about the inauguration program on 2nd October. And then, as you can see, we had a lot of bird watching, fancy dress competition. Every day there was bird walk and butterfly conservation workshops were being taken up. Various competitions like drawing, painting, and the themes also were given on the relevant themes like the human-wildlife conflict in India, or something like wildlife conservation in the rapidly changing world. So this was a webinar. We had speakers from all over the country, not really limiting it to the state of Andhra Pradesh, but we had speakers talking about even the species, lesser known species like squirrels as well. So we had many insightful talks. And also on October 4th, every year we have this International Zookeepers Day. And so we like to do something special for our keepers. We conducted some games, prizes, and then of course a lunch was being organized. As they are the backbone of the system or the family in the zoo, they are very important for us. So apart from that, of course, the King Cobra webinar was also done. As sir also, CCF sir also emphasized the importance of King Cobra in the current landscape of Eastern Ghats. So of course, as you can see, the essay writing competition, and then of course about marine fauna like olive ridley, conservation strategies and implication. And as you can see, the speakers were from different organizations and from different states of the country. And yes, AV fauna, we have focused on that as well, with special reference to northern coastal Andhra Pradesh. As we know that in Eastern Ghats, actually we have Mr. Dr. Trevor Price from Chicago University, who has been working in Eastern Ghats for the past 50 years. And he has been coming from US regularly for that project. He has been studying the birds there. So we have a lot of information in this local area itself. It is just that we need to explore about it. So various other competitions like photography. Yesterday there was a webinar by Mr. Anant Shankar again on mangrove restoration and how it is helpful in climate change mitigation and adaptation, and also about the fishing cat conservation in Andhra Pradesh. So yesterday in the afternoon we also had this foundation stone laying. Actually, as CCF sir has already mentioned, that we had certain collaborations in terms of CSR and CER funding, whereby actually it initially started with IOCL, they have given us 1.88 crore rupees for taking up certain works which are focused on mainly on animal enclosures and visitor amenities, as well as some publicity component. So certain big works like the rhinoceros, additional night house, the foundation stone was laid yesterday by Executive Director of Pipeline Division of IOCL and Executive Director of Marketing Division of IOCL. So in the presence of CCF sir, myself and DFO Visakhapatnam and other officials. Also a Himalayan black bear night house. This actually night house was damaged during the Hudhud cyclone, which was in 2014, and since then because of the lack of fund we could not do it. So with the support from IOCL we are able to now do this work. So the tenders and everything has been finalized and we'll be able to start the work soon. Similarly, the bioscope, which we use as interpretation center of conducting of various activities in the zoo for kids and public, we are also trying to upgrade that. A new floor will be established on that. So yesterday there was also a very unique activity, which was an animal naming ceremony for zoo animals, which we also did with the IOCL officials and gave them a very beautiful experience, I would say. They were very happy to do such a unique activity, and it also made them very, very happy. So yes, some of the species, we have a lot of newborns, as I said earlier as well. So we've been able to name them yesterday. So today, as we talk about valedictory program, and followed by this, we will have a prize distribution program. We also have currently pond painting program going on in our bioscope. So that's about it, sir. Right now, now with this, I would also like to take sir's permission to present a video, sir, on the wildlife of Indira Gandhi Zoological Park. We made a small effort on to present the various wild animal species and birds in the zoo for public awareness. So just an in-house effort, sir. So I would like to share it and get it released by you with your permission, sir.
Okay, please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Ramna, can you please play the video?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much, sir. Next.
Nandani?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Regarding this
Yes, sir.
animals, actually,
Yes, sir.
can you think of some narration?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We actually, this was an in-house attempt only, sir.
That's right.
We will make a professional good video with a good narration, as it was in Olive Ridley Turtle video.
Some
It was very nice. Yes, sir.
like some at least slightly story type telling.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that
Yes.
it gives you.
Yes, sir.
Definitely.
Certainly, sir. Yes. So we have another video, sir, on animal adoption. Actually, I would like to brief about a little about the animal adoption scheme of IGZP. Basically, it has started long back in 2014-15. But I would say that in the past 2 years or 3 years, we've made a substantial increase in the number of animal adopters. Like probably 5 to 8 times we have increased the number of animal adopters, thanks to my predecessor Yashoda madam as well. She introduced the concept of online adoption, which has definitely increased the number of adoptions happening. And what we have tried in the past 2 years, what we have tried is that we have tried to publicize it as much as possible, because through my own interactions with different people across the various levels, I have found that people are interested. It is just that they don't know about it. So whenever somebody gets to know about the animal adoption, they want to come forward and they want to do the adoption whatsoever. In the amount doesn't matter really to them. So we have tried to reach out to people through various levels of media, print and news media in the past 2 years, and we have tried to emphasize the idea that it is not just about the money which you are giving. It is about that the feeling which you are trying to create and the bond which you are trying to create with the wild animal or the bird, or developing a connection with your favorite animal or bird whatsoever in the zoo. So with that, I would just like to give some numbers that last two years in 2021, despite COVID being there, we could have at least 89 number of adopters, which was very less earlier. We would have 21 or 11 like that. So and in the 21-22, we could have 133 animal adopters, and the amount was around 23 lakhs. So there was a substantial increase in the amount also, which was earlier around 5 lakhs or something, and last year we could raise around 23 lakhs. So definitely this helps us to substantiate our feeding expenses as well. But the more important is that we have been able to create a better feeling for the wildlife conservation amongst the public, and that's why we feel good about it, that the number of adopters are increasing. So with this, I also like to mention here, sir, that we have been able to rope in corporates as well for the animal adoption, like IOCL. Apart from doing that developmental works, they've also come forward. Actually, they have taken Indian rhinoceros as their brand mascot for the IOCL, and whereby they have also come forward to adopt our rhino Nakul, one rhino we have in our zoo. So they have adopted that for lifetime. Firstly, they have given the money for the initial 3 years, and then they will be renewing it every year. So similarly, we have Gangavaram Port Limited also. They also donated some 10 lakhs for different animals adoption, and Deccan Fine Chemicals, they also came forward to give around 4 lakhs. So likewise, we also have corporates and individuals who are coming forward to do these animal adoptions, and certainly the publicity has helped us in securing these fundings as well as developing these connections. So with that, I would now like to take your permission, sir, for getting this video released on animal adoption of IGZP.
Yeah, please go.
Thank you. Amna, can you please play this?
Welcome to the Indira Gandhi Zoological Park, Visakhapatnam, where we house around 860 animals of 90 different species, from the mighty Royal Bengal tiger to the exotic zebras and giraffes. IGZP, also popularly known as Vizag Zoo, receives an annual footfall of around 8 to 9 lakh visitors. Amongst all these visitors, many wish to contribute in some way, either for their favorite animal or bird or reptile, or towards the cause of wildlife conservation. They wish to connect with these wild fauna on a personal basis and contribute to their welfare. whereby IGZP has come up with a unique way of animal adoption scheme, where these animal and wildlife lovers can adopt their favorite species for a certain period of time as per their own wish. This scheme covers all species in IGZP, and the period of animal adoption is very flexible, ranging from a day to a week to a month or a year, totally based on the choice and wish of the animal adopter. Let us hear more about adoption of animals and why is it essential, from the curator of the IGZP, Dr. Nandani Salaria, IFS.
Well, the animal adoption program of Indira Gandhi Zoological Park, Visakhapatnam is one of its kind and is a wonderful opportunity for the animal lovers and the wildlife conservationists across the city of Vizag, the state of Andhra Pradesh, and also the people of India as such. The zoo administration in Vizag Zoo focuses more on the number of animal adopters than the fund collected. Of course, the fund is very, very important as it helps us to meet the needs for the feeding and the veterinary expenses for these animals. However, we appreciate the gesture being done by the animal adopters to a large extent. The reason behind is because these people are the ones who have thought about the wildlife conservation in a positive way, and they have also gone a step ahead by taking action on that thought. So a thought followed by an action definitely needs an appreciation and recognition in the society, and also that would help us to encourage more and more people. So that's why we focus more on the number of animal adopters, because as a zoo administration, we feel that we have, through our conservation education activities or through the messages being given by various activities of the zoo, or maybe just a visit in the zoo, it has helped these people to think positively about the wildlife conservation. Also, they have made it, made it a point that they also act towards this positive thought, and that's why we feel it as an achievement. So the number of animal adopters definitely make us, feel accomplished in a way. Also, we feel that there are so many animal lovers in the city of Vizag and the state of Andhra Pradesh who cannot keep pets at home, do something for animal welfare or wildlife conservation due to various constraints of probably time, space or whatsoever. So this animal adoption scheme of Vizag Zoo is a beautiful way to contribute towards the animal welfare and wildlife conservation, where the zoo administration takes care of these animals while they are in the zoo, and you become a proud animal adopter. So we welcome you all to avail this opportunity of becoming an animal adopter and develop your personal connection with the animals and birds of the zoo and become a part of our proud zoo family.
Adding to the curator's message, we would also love to inform the adopters that, as a token of appreciation, he or she gets an adoption certificate, which also provides for the income tax exemption under 80cc(d), and there are numerous other rewards like free visits to zoo, a souvenir and few other complimentary things depending on the scale of their adoption. Apart from all this, the animal adopter can visit the zoo and take an update on the adopted species during the period of adoption. Let us hear more about adoption of animals from the Chief Conservator of Forests, Visakhapatnam, Mr. P. Ram Mohan Rao, IFS.
అందరికీ నమస్కారం. ఏంటంటే ఈరోజు మనం ఇందిరాగాంధీ జూలాజికల్ పార్క్లో యానిమల్ అడాప్షన్ స్కీమ్ గురించి 2 నిమిషాలు మాట్లాడుకుందాం. ఏంటంటే జూలో ఏంటంటే మన టైగర్ దగ్గర నుంచి చిన్న తాబేలు దాకా మనకు డిఫరెంట్ జాతులన్నీ కూడా ఉన్నాయి. సో వాటిని కూడా ఎవరికి ఇంట్రెస్ట్ ఉంటే వాళ్ళు యానిమల్ని అడాప్ట్ చేసుకుంటారు. అంటే అది కొన్ని రోజులు కావచ్చు, సంవత్సరం కావచ్చు. సో దానికి ఏంటంటే అడాప్షన్ చేసుకుంటే దానికి మెయింటెనెన్స్ అయ్యే ఖర్చునంతా కూడా అడాప్ట్ చేసుకున్న వాళ్ళు భరిస్తారు. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఏంటంటే ఇవాళ అడాప్ట్స్ నుంచి నిన్న ఒక అతను వచ్చాడు, ఒక సీనియర్ అసిస్టెంట్. అతను వచ్చేటంటే అతను బర్త్డే ఎస్టర్డే అతను టైగర్ని అడాప్ట్ చేసుకున్నాడు. అలాగే వాళ్ళ ఫ్రెండ్ వచ్చాడు, అతను ఒక లైన్ అడాప్ట్ చేసుకున్నాడు. సో దట్ ఏంటంటే ప్రజల్లో ఏంటంటే జనాల్లో ఒక యానిమల్స్ పట్ల ఒక ప్రేమభావం, అంటే ఒక అంకిత భావం అనుకోండి, అండ్ ప్రొటెక్ట్ చేయాలి, దాన్ని బాగా చూసుకోవాలనే భావం మాత్రం బాగా పెరుగుతుందనటానికి అతిశయోక్తి ఏమీ లేదు. సో మీ ద్వారా నా అందరి రిక్వెస్ట్ ఏంటంటే ఇప్పుడు ఐఓసిఎల్ కానీ ఇంకా పెద్ద పెద్ద కంపెనీస్ అన్నీ కూడా ఒక రైనోని అడాప్ట్ చేసుకున్నాయి. అలాగే గంగవరం పోర్ట్ వరకు అన్న ఒక యానిమల్ని అడాప్ట్ చేసుకున్నారు. అలాగే చాలామంది ముందుకు వస్తూ ఉన్నారు. ఇప్పుడు కార్పొరేట్ కంపెనీస్ అన్నీ కూడా సిఎస్ఆర్ అంటారు, కార్పొరేట్ సోషల్ రెస్పాన్సిబిలిటీ, కార్పొరేట్ ఎన్విరాన్మెంటల్ రెస్పాన్సిబిలిటీ కింద. సో దాంట్లో భాగంగా కూడా ఈ యానిమల్స్ని అడాప్ట్ చేసుకుంటే ఏంటంటే వాటి మెయింటెనెన్స్ మాకు ఈజీ అవుతుంది. మాకు ఏంటంటే గేట్ కలెక్షన్ ఏదైతే వస్తుందో దాన్ని పీపీజెడ్ఆర్ అంటారు, దాన్ని మనం దీనికి యానిమల్ వెల్ఫేర్కి, దాని డెవలప్మెంట్కి దానికి వాడుతూ ఉన్నాం. ఈ యానిమల్ అడాప్షన్ చేసుకుని వచ్చే డబ్బు కూడా మాకు కొంత ఉంటే కనుక జూ మెయింటెనెన్స్ మాకు ఈజీ అవుతుందని మీకు అందరికీ తెలియజేయడం జరిగింది. అలాగే చాలామంది ప్రజలందరూ కూడా ఇప్పుడు ఎవరైతే మనకి ఎలా చేస్తున్నారు అనే ఒక మనకి అడాప్షన్ స్కీమ్ ఎలాగ అడాప్ట్ చేస్తున్నారు, ఎవరెవరు దీంట్లో పాల్గొంటున్నారు అనేదంతా కూడా ఒక వీడియో ద్వారా మీకు చూపించడం జరుగుతుంది. కాబట్టి ఇవన్నీ చూసి ఇంకా చాలామంది ముందుకు వచ్చి ఎక్కువ యానిమల్స్ని ఎక్కువ రోజులు అడాప్ట్ చేసుకుంటే మీకు తృప్తికరంగా ఉంటుంది, మాకు కూడా ఈ జూ మెయింటెనెన్స్. ఎందుకంటే విశాఖపట్నం సిటీలో చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్ జూ, న్యాచురల్ హ్యాబిటేట్లో ఉన్నట్టుగా ఉంటుంది. ఎక్కడో ఎంక్లోజర్స్ ఉన్నప్పటికీ కూడా న్యాచురల్గా యానిమల్స్ ఉన్నట్లుగా ఉంటుంది. కాబట్టి మీ అందరి సహకారం ఈ వీడియో ద్వారా తెలియజేసుకుంటా ఉన్నాం. థ్యాంక్ యూ వెరీ మచ్ అండి.
So what are you waiting for? Adopt your favorite animal today and be a part of its upbringing and welfare. Be a part of our animal adoption program and join the proud Animal Adopters Club of Vizag Zoo for a better today and tomorrow of our wildlife. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandeep.
I would like to mention here that this video has been done by Mr. A. Sandeep, who just is a volunteer, I would say, with us. He regularly volunteers for taking some photography sessions for general public, and he has taken up this project out of passion to make a video on animal adoption. So he has made all the efforts. So I would just like to thank him as well. And he's tried to use all these lyrics and narration was through AI he has created. So which is also a use of emerging technology. So I thank him as well.
Yeah, good work, Sandeep. I think it has been well photographed and well presented. So my congratulations and compliments to you. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. It's an honor that it has been presented in front of you. Thank you. Thank you for Nandani ma'am also, for giving this opportunity. And I wish it will go and spread some awareness and wish more and more adopters come to IGZP. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sandeep. Thank you very much, sir. Almost we have come to the end of this program then. If sir has anything to say further, sir, we could hear sir. Otherwise, we'll proceed towards the closing of the ceremony, sir.
Yeah, I think basically because we're located in the Valedictory is located in the zoo park, so I think the focus was more on the captive animals. I think moving forward, I think coming to the year-long activities ahead of us, I think let's also focus on the wild animals beyond the protected areas. So not in the zoo parks or the wildlife sanctuaries and national parks, I think there is a lot of wildlife in the nature, in our declared forests, and also in the fields, in the revenue lands. I think there are a lot of animals are there. I think they also need to be focused and protected. There are issues about some crop depredation and also in some areas I think there's a damage to the human life as well. But I think that's part of the game. I think having encroached their habitat, now we cannot cry foul. So it's us I think who have done the damage. I think it's not the other way around. So this message also should be taken across to the people. So if there is a crop damage, I think government is willing to defray the expenses to the farmers. I think that way the farmers will not be put to any loss. But in the guise of the crop damage, I think we cannot take any hasty steps towards killing of any of these herbivores, which is happening in some of the places. The second area is the snares and the poaching of the animals for maybe as a trophy purpose, and also for in some areas for meat purpose. I think these are the areas I think we should also focus, and our staff should aim not only at protecting the forest, that's the floral life, the trees, but also the wild animals in the non-PA areas also. This should be the focus in the next 1 year, and we should see, and the measures should be taken across. And if we can develop, as I said earlier, these eco clubs, not only in the cities, in the smaller towns, I think they will become our eyes and ears. I think they will become the volunteers. They will actually add to the strength of the forest department staff. I think they will ensure that any happening occurring in some places, it will be brought to the notice, and greater awareness can be spread by those people. So I once again call upon my colleagues in the forest department to actually take up these initiatives to enlist more and more support to the efforts of the forest department and wildlife departments to ensure that these wild animals, both in the PI areas and the non-PA areas, are adequately safeguarded, and their population shall increase to an optimal level. Especially because the theme of this Wildlife Week celebrations is the recovery of the key stone species. Actually, some of the animals and some of the flora also are on the verge of extinction. We already had this year the reintroduction of the cheetah. A lot of fanfare was there, but that's one of the close to the flagship species. But other than that, I think there are many species I think which are already are on the verge of extinction. I think we should focus, and in each of the area we should take maybe some animals to focus our efforts on and ensure that their population is maintained, and maybe in the next years we will again compare data and see where we have gone. So that will be my closing remarks for this Wildlife Week celebrations. You can go ahead with your program.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your closing remarks for the ceremony, and we're very happy and encouraged to have such encouraging words from your end, as well as very, very relevant message to the public as well, sir has given. So with this, I would like to close the ceremony and extend my heartfelt thanks to PCCF HoFF, sir, and PCCF Chief Wildlife Warden, sir, Shri YM Reddy, sir. And also, I would like to thank the PCCF sirs in head office, in the office of PCCF HoFF, sir. Also, PCCF Wildlife, Shri Dr. Shantipriya Pandey, madam. Various senior officers of Andhra Pradesh Forest Department, circle heads and DFOs of various circles, forest circles in the Department of AP Forest Department, our Shri P. Mohan Rao, sir, IFS as Chief Conservator of Forest, Visakhapatnam, who has been very, very supportive and encouraging throughout this entire week and in general as well. Also, DFO Visakhapatnam, who has very well got the video movie made on olive ridley turtle and presented a beautiful brief on the conservation efforts made by the State Forest Department in this regard. I also would like to thank my zoo team, who have been very, very proactive including my executive staff, the assistant curators 1 and 2, the FSOs, the forest section officers 1 and 2, who have been very, very active in conducting all the activities throughout this week and making arrangements before that as well. Despite the bad weather and regular various problems occurring, because it was at the Shahra time as well, so there was huge crowds. There were a lot of issues happening in general when there's a lot of crowd. So despite that, they were able to conduct these events in a very organized manner. Also, I would like to thank my education team of Zoom, which includes Education Officer Divya, PRO Public Relation Officer Mr. Ramna, Biologist Mr. Purushottam, and Butterfly Park Assistant Miss Namita, for conducting various events right from starting 6 a.m. in the morning till working till late night. So they've been very, very active throughout this week as well. And I would also like to thank the makers of our movies like Mr. A. Sandeep, Mr. Shrikant, and Mr. Ramna PRO and Purushottam, biologist from the zoo, who have been very passionately involved in doing all these movie projects. So thank you very much. I thank the participants who have joined us today and before today as well, throughout the entire week, in both online and offline activities. So we are nothing without them. We are just doing everything for them as well, them only. So the entire process is about raising conservation awareness message about the wildlife conservation, and which could not be successful without them being there. So thanks to all the participants who have joined us online and offline, and also the various resource persons, without which we could not conduct such events, which cover a lot of relevant themes and subjects throughout the week, and which are relevant across the country, not just Andhra Pradesh. So we thank each and every resource person who have been very, very kind to spare time from their busy schedule and find some time to do the talks. Also, I thank print and news media who have been covering the entire Wildlife Week celebrations very thoroughly in their respective newspapers and TV and print media. Also, they're not only during the Wildlife Week celebrations, but whatever happens in zoo is generally given good coverage. So we thank them, all of them, to give good coverage as always to the Indira Gandhi Zoological Park, Visakhapatnam. With this, I end the ceremony, and I thank all of everyone who has been a part of this ceremony, a part of this Wildlife Week celebration throughout this week and before as well. So thank you very much. We just hope that coexistence becomes a message for everyone, and we end up saving more and more wildlife and damaging less and less the habitats for these wildlife. So thank you very much, sir. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you.
Thanks.